What's up, you guys? Speed here. Life is funny, isn't it? You say a movie's really bad, you say that it's like one of the worst movies of 2016. You're like, oh, it's not as good as the Marvel movies, blah, blah, blah. But yet, here we are with Suicide Squad and a whole lot of news coming out because of it. So, I guess it's true what they say. There is a difference between what critics think and what the audience actually thinks. So, a lot of news came out about Tuesday up to today of a lot of Suicide Squad stuff pertaining to a few spin-offs and a potential sequel. So, what broke yesterday was that David Ayer, the original director for Suicide Squad, is apparently teaming up with Harley Quinn actress Margot Robbie to do a Gotham City Sirens movie. Now, for those who don't know, the Gotham City Sirens is like a comic book series that features Harley Quinn, Catwoman, and Poison Ivy all teamed up together to basically do a lot of crazy shit. Fight criminals, solve mysteries. The solve mysteries part was with the Riddler in it too, so who knows? We may even see the Riddler be in this movie. Maybe not. You know. But this is actually a really cool thing because I've been waiting to see who the DCEU and Warner Brothers would cast for Catwoman and Poison Ivy. So, I'm actually psyched to see this because I would love to see these three female characters also be in the Batman movie, which I doubt because, this Gotham City Sirens movie is already just now starting to be made while the solo Batman movie is beginning its production. So I don't know if they'll include Catwoman or Poison Ivy. Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see. Also, the people who are part of this Gotham City Sirens movie is also Jeff Jones, who is basically running the DC Cinematic Universe at this point. Another bit of news came out is Will Smith discussing plans for a Deadshot spin-off movie. Since Deadshot was apparently really popular, they've decided to make a Deadshot spin-off movie. Now, personally, I don't know about this, because, yeah, Deadshot is cool, but I don't know if he's actually popular enough to warrant his own spin-off movie. It just seems a little out there, I know Margot Robbie and Will Smith's characters, Deadshot and Harley Quinn, were some of the biggest highlights of Suicide Squad, but, I would rather see a spin-off movie for Katana rather than, Deadshot, since, it seems like Katana would have a better chance for a spin-off movie since we don't know much about her, and she could garner a lot of attention from that. But, Deadshot getting his own movie, it's a little out there, and I didn't expect it, but I guess I'd be open for it, It'd be interesting to see more of him, to see where his journey would go since after Suicide Squad. Would he ever get to reunite with his daughter? What kind of stories will he be dealing with? What other DC characters will we see in his movie? So we'll just have to wait and see. And then, of course, there's the big news that Suicide Squad is already in development for its sequel. Despite the fact that the movie had very terrible reviews and every critic ripped it apart, it was still able to make tons of money in the 700 millions bracket, making it one of the biggest financial successes in 2016. And also the fact that Harley Quinn has become so popularized during Halloween that everyone was wearing her costume. She's just gained a lot of popularity because of the movie. So, it would only make sense to make a sequel. Now, what other members will be part of the Suicide Squad and why they're forming the Suicide Squad, that's to be seen. Who knows why they're forming the Suicide Squad or what new threat they'd have to face. I'm actually looking up some stuff here now. But, hopefully that, it'll be as good as the first movie, or at least good enough to the point where we can finally just stop with the bullshit of these critics ripping it apart over and over. Um, so we don't necessarily know who the enemy is going to be. All we do know is that there's going to be a sequel. We don't even know who the members are, which is kind of sucks, but it makes sense. Uh, we'll just have to wait and see what comes from that. Um, Another bit of news that's actually interesting to note. Apparently, we just got another casting for Aquaman, and that would be the actor. I forgot his name, but I do know that this actor played in Watchmen as Night Owl. So that's a good bit of news that we just received from that we just received. So, oh, here we go. Patrick Wilson will be playing Aquaman's evil half brother Aura. Now, I'm not that knowledgeable with did I just say Iron Man? I'm not that knowledgeable with Aquaman, so I'm kind of new to all this. But apparently, there was a lot of uproar going on Tumblr, and about how people wanted Orem to be like a person of color. But the thing about it, which I did a little digging myself, is that the point of Aquaman is that, Atlantis is supposed to be the all-white neighborhood in which it's basically a whole bunch of white Atlanteans, and there's a point of prejudiceness that's supremacist. There's a supremacy in Atlantis about only pure blood Atlanteans should be in Atlantis. So when Aquaman comes in, he kind of taints that whole thing, the whole supremacy. And it would make sense to cast a white man like Patrick Wilson to play Orem to further really dig deep into that supremacy. Plus, we have Jason Momoa, who's going to be Aquaman, and he's like Hawaiian, so it would make sense too. It would make a really big impact to have an all-white cast for the Atlanteans, and then have Jason Momoa be a person of color entering that supremacy and trying to come out as the king. I think that's a good idea that they decided to do that. And I guess you can say with the Batman solo, there's been a lot of talk going around how the Batman solo is either going to start production next year or early this year, confirmed by I still can't pronounce his last name, but basically the person playing Deathstroke. And I think it's starting production officially this year, and it's going to keep continuing on next year, and so on and so forth. So, we don't really know exactly what characters are going to be in the Batman solo. All we know is that Batman's going to be in it, most likely Alfred's going to be in it, Deathstroke's going to be in the movie, and that's about it. We don't know if Harley or the Joker are going to be in it yet, but I'm pretty sure they are, since they're kind of integral characters to the Batman lore. And when you're making a solo Batman movie, and you have the chance to use Harley and Joker, it's kind of a missed opportunity if you don't. But from what I do know, this movie is apparently going to have a bunch of rogue gallery characters, most likely including Penguin, Two-Face, Riddler, Killer Croc probably is going to be in it, and it's just going to feature a whole bunch of Batman rogues. So I don't know how they're going to implement all these Batman rogues in there and give each of them a good amount of screen time without feeling like they're just being shoved in. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And now for some Justice League news. Apparently, the Justice League movie has been pushed back in order to do the Batman movie. And what I'm really happy about is that Zack Snyder is going to be directing both this Justice League movie and the sequel. So I'm really excited for that because I really like the way Zack Snyder handles the movies, despite what people say about him. I really do love Zack Snyder when it comes to movies because he has an eye for cinema, and he tells stories that you wouldn't. He just tells stories that are a lot different from the usual superhero movies, and I enjoy those stories because they break the norm. They feel less like superhero movies and more like cinematic gold to me. So I don't really give a shit what anyone has to say. It doesn't really matter. And I can't wait to see how he does Justice League 1 and Justice League 2. So, and now for a bit of Wonder Woman news that I found to be a little pretentiously annoying. So, apparently Wonder Woman, the female icon of the world, the feminist icon, so to speak, was apparently kicked off of the United Nations as a representative solely because of the fact that she was just too sexy. Now, I don't know exactly how that makes any sense, but I guess it's because of the whole leotard thing. But then again, you would have known this. Why would you allow it to be there then if you didn't? How? It's like, why would you allow it in the first place if you had such gripes for it before? Apparently there was a petition going around about how some people were like, "Oh, Wonder Woman is just too revealing in her clothes, so it would be too blah blah blah." And it's just pathetically stupid. But I don't know. It's just so stupid. Like, Wonder Woman is the embodiment of gender equality. She is a feminist icon in itself. And how could you kick off a feminist icon simply because of what she wears? It's pathetic. It makes no sense. And it's basically like saying, "Oh, women are it's like saying a woman can't be sexy and be independent and strong in itself at the same time." I don't get it, man. It's just so stupid. And we just had such a great and empowering award ceremony at the United Nations by having Wonder Woman be the icon for her 75th anniversary. And then you pull some shit like this? It's just so dumb. And it really, I don't know, it pisses me off. It just really pisses me off. Because you're essentially taking away a feminist icon. Who are you going to replace it with? Fucking Black Widow? No, I'm not going to make this into a Marvel thing. Why don't they replace it with Captain Marvel or something like that? I don't know. I just hate it. It's stupid and it's completely unnecessary. On her 75th anniversary, too. Wonder Woman would be ashamed of us. Seems like the DC can't get a break, even in the United Nations. It's pathetic. It's sad. This entire huge bias. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to focus on the positives that are coming out, which is the Suicide sequel, Deadshot spinoff, Gotham City Sirens, Zack Snyder returning for Justice League 2, the Batman solo, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to focus on those good things. I'm not going to try and get too pissed off over nothing. Because for me, this is a good day. A good day to have all this DC news come out. And a good day to really be hyped for all this DC cinematic universe stuff that's coming out in the future. I couldn't be more happy to see everything come to place. We're going to get the Batman movie. We're going to get the Gotham City Sirens. A Deadshot solo movie, Aquaman, and so on and so forth. It's just a good day to be a DC fan for me. And I can't wait to see all these movies, to see all this news come out. And it's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Now, for those wondering why I'm not talking about the whole DC TV Alien versus superheroes crossover, it's because I didn't really watch it. I had no interest in this. Like, I thought the idea was cool. It's like their own mini Justice League. But I don't really care about Supergirl or Green Lantern, or The Flash for that matter. Like, I keep up with the stuff and what's going on in it, but I don't really care enough for the the DC TVs to really keep up with what's going on in it. So, in case you were wondering how I felt about that, sorry, I didn't watch it, didn't really care for it. So, yeah. Um, so with that being said, that's all I have to say, really. If there's more news that's coming out, if there's more news that's out there, I'll probably do a separate video on it if I feel like it. But other than that, that's my basic DC dump of stuff that I've missed. There's a lot of other stuff out there that I've missed for DC, but I'll probably get to it in some other time. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.